Hello and welcome to another YouTube video on Lenormand cards. You know how when you go online and watch YouTube you see these wonderful videos and you see new decks and you think, oh, this looks so beautiful, I have to have this one. And then you do some research and you look at their websites and Etsy and Pinterest and you think that's a really beautiful deck, and you order it and you wait longer than you would like and you get very excited, and then it arrives and it's not quite what you expected. Well, this has happened again, and well, we're all looking for the perfect deck, and it doesn't happen. Even with tarot, there are some decks where there's a few cards you're not sure of, and does it all hold together? And we go through stages where we fall in love with a certain deck and we use it religiously, and then it sort of fades away, and then you look for another one, and the cycle just continues. And I mean, that's fine, and you know, we all change, and we change our views on decks, and as you develop your reading skills, you look for different things. So anyway, here's one. This is the Revival Art deck. This should tick boxes for me because it's the style of art that I particularly love. And here's the box. Very pretty box, and that's the back of the cards, which uses the image of that child. I'm not quite sure about the back of the cards. I think I would prefer an abstract design, perhaps in this instance something from the 19th century. It is 19th century, but it's not abstract. There's nothing else in the box. No little white book. There's the guidebook is from a QR code, and you scan it and it doesn't work. Well, it's not the end of the world, but it's a bit frustrating. So I opened the deck. First thing that struck me, glossy cards. Not my favourite. The light catches it. If you've got greasy or oily fingers, they're going to mark and show. So not so good. Now I'll go through each card and I'll tell you what I think, and we'll put them into three piles. Those cards which I think work, those which are okay, and those which I think don't work. So let's, not in any particular order. So the tree. First of all, they do have a border, thin border. They've got the playing card designated, very subtle. I would prefer it to be more obvious, and this card, it works quite well because it's on a light sky and it stands out. On some cards you'll see it's not so clear, and I think it's quite helpful to be able to see that in a larger spread. You get an idea of the influence of playing card suits on the reading. Not everybody does that, and that's fine, and I don't always do it either, but at this stage I quite like that. There's the number. So tree. I'll compare this with traditional Lenormand depictions of each card. I'm not saying that that's right, and we can change over the years, we can develop it. Creators can put their own mark on the design, their own thoughts. But if you are learning and you're looking at books to instruct you, it could cause confusion. And that's why I would recommend that when you're learning Lenormand, which most people are, to be honest, you're probably better with the traditional deck, because most of the instruction books reference traditional images. So this can be a little bit confusing for beginners, but that's fine. So tree, this one's a fairly standard one. Often the depiction of trees, one side of the tree is more healthy than the other side. This one's fairly balanced. There's a little bit of what we call staghorn there. You can tell that I'm a tree person. So that one's okay. Fish. Not sure about this one. Fish, it usually represents like prosperity and wealth. These fish, they're not swimming, they're not alive, they're caught, they're dead. Dead fish? A small number of dead fish? That's slightly different interpretation for me, although it could be the catch. That's probably a bit of a no for me. Heart. I would prefer there not to be people in the picture because I'm looking at the faces. It distracts me from the heart, and that, to me, that image looks a little bit contrived. I prefer, for instance, roses, and some cars have a thorn in there. Does she look that keen on him? That's a bit subjective, and I'd rather it be direct and clear, and I'm not sure that one is. It's a lovely painting. Is it right for Lenormand? I'm not sure. I think it's a middling book. It's quite hard to see the symbols here. There's a lot going on. Yes, it's a book, but there are other books. It just doesn't quite stand out for me. Not sure about that one. It's not a reject. Sun. Well, again, it's a beautiful image, but to me that's a sunset. It's a close of day. It's not a bright, cheerful sun. I'm not sure that one works. I'll put that in a bit of a no. Ship. It's a gorgeous image of a ship. I love the clouds. I love it as a painting. But to me that ship is not moving. It's at anchor, stationary. There's not a lot going on. It's too passive. It doesn't, to me, look like a journey or travel. It's too stationary. So although I really love the card image, that one doesn't quite do it for me. Lily, very hard to see the suit there. That's not very good. Feels a bit rushed in the design. It's generally my feeling about the whole deck is that somebody loves this style of art, as I do, found images which approximate to Lenormand, and it needed more time. I think it was pushed out too quickly. Bit of a shame, really. Lily, it's fairly standard. I can't really say much about that one. It's nice. That one's fairly clear, actually. It's middling. Bouquet, that I'm afraid doesn't work for me, because that to me is a floral display. That's not really a bouquet. To me is something you could hold in your hand and pass to somebody. I mean, maybe you could. It's a bit hard to tell from that. To me, that's a flower arrangement, and they're lovely flowers. It's middling. It's neither a success nor a failure. Cross. Again, it's an interesting image. It's very dramatic. It's quite well. I'm not sure. The cross is generally a negative card. I'm not sure how negative this is. You could see this as positive. There's light there. So is that a burden? Is it negative? I'm not sure about that one either. If that one came up, I think it could be interpreted. It could be, the sun. It could be hope. I'm not sure that's appropriate. The cross. That's a no for me. Broom. Interesting to have a person in the broom image, a child. I mean, if it had been a whip, maybe, because whips were used to punish children in previous centuries, and it's usually a rod. It's usually a whip or a rod, and sometimes it's a a whip and a broom. This has gone just for the broom. Perhaps that's their spin on it. But that, again, it's a bit passive, a bit ambiguous. Not sure about that one either. Mountain. This could have been a good one. I mean, again, you know, it's a lovely image. Nice painting. Hard again to see the playing card symbol. I just think it would have been better without the house. That adds more meaning to it to me. I think we just needed a mountain. I know that can be a little bit dull sometimes, but it should be just a mountain, and an impenetrable, difficult to climb mountain. So again, that's a no from me. Coffin, again, hard to see this. Suit here, we've got a figure in it which we didn't need. It puts it in a cultural, geographical context of Eastern Europe, which I think it's better if it'd be more universal if it wasn't so identifiable as Eastern Europe. And it's almost become a sarcophagus, which again is a different meaning. It's a great image, but no, again. Dog, yeah, this I'm afraid, again, it's hard to see. It's hard to see the number and the suit here. Lovely image of a dog. It's an adorable dog, but it's a pretty dog. And the dog is more than that. It's about a faithful friend. It's a guard. It's loyalty. Yeah, I'm sure this is loyalty, but it's more cute than the attributes of a dog which we need for card meanings in Lenormand, to me. So, sorry, beautiful dog. Not brilliant, but not complete negative. I'll put this in an indifferent part. Bear, again, hardly see this, hardly see the number. A ferocious bear. The bear generally is not a particularly negative card. This one's very negative, very aggressive. I think it needs to be more ambiguous in this case, because the bear can be a protector and a mother figure. That looks really quite unpleasant. I mean, obviously you don't want to necessarily meet a bear, but they have good qualities as well. They can be very protective and useful. I would just turn away from this. I'd be quite afraid of it. So that's quite a particular depiction of a bear, and it really doesn't do it for me. Sorry, we're not doing very well here. So birds, nice painting. Lots of different kinds of birds. Again, that gives a different meaning to it rather than the same type of bird together, having different species of bird. That's okay. I mean, you would have to change your card meanings for this one, I think. So a bit ambiguous on that one. The man, again, you know, he's a healthy, handsome man, but it's just, again, it's just a bit bland. I would prefer a full figure man. I prefer it when it's a full figure. Sometimes he's holding a letter in traditional cards, and he's looking in a direction rather than looking straight at you. This makes directionality problematic, which again could, I'm not sure about that one either. That's middling. Key, well, we've got two keys. It's not a key, it's keys. That can slightly change the meaning. It's so-so. There's not a lot to say about that. Woman, same problem as the man, really, isn't it? You know, they don't really ever look at each other. Whichever way you have it, they're not engaged with each other. So in a spread, that can be slightly problematic. Again, you know, she's a beautiful woman and beautifully dressed, and she has a bouquet. Probably might be better without a bouquet, and that really is a bouquet rather than a flower arrangement. Again, lack of directionality, and it's very specific to a culture and a period in history which some people may not want. I mean, you can make it universal, but yeah, there's almost too much detail actually, and that's often a problem with some tarot cards that are too well drawn or designed or too detailed is you become distracted by the detail, and you can't really switch into the symbolism and the archetypes which you want to be you want your subconscious to be triggered by simple archetypes and not then drawn into looking at the detail. For me, that doesn't work for reading, but for others maybe it does work. Tower, oh crikey, I'm not doing right. Tower again, I'm not too happy with this, because for me the tower should be well, it's okay. I mean, traditionally, the tower is a structure which is standing amidst ruins. It's not amidst ruins, and there's people in it, but it still conveys the meaning of tower. So that one's okay-ish, not brilliant. Rider, okay. Usually it's a man. They've changed for a woman. Riding side saddle, so she's not going to be particularly active. Is she coming to bring a message, or is she just out for a nice ride in the countryside? I think for me it's the latter, so it doesn't work as riding. Yes, she is riding a horse, but is she the rider bringing a message? I just don't see it. Sorry. House. Right, the house should be about domesticity and the comfort and a safe refuge. There's a lot of people in this. It's by water, which again makes me less comfortable. That may be just me. And the house itself doesn't feel particularly homely and comfortable, and it's overly large to me. Sorry, that doesn't work. Scythe, well, I think it's okay. I think it might have been better without a figure in it, but and she's resting. She's not actually cutting. She's stopped. She has been cutting. She's stopped, which is fine. You can either have it side actually doing something, or it's just lying down, but usually without a figure in it. Again, as soon as you put a person in it, for me, that becomes a distraction, and it becomes about the person. I'm trying to think about what she's thinking and why she stopped, rather than just scythe cutting. And remember, Lenormand is meant to be simple and direct, and it just triggers a word that's relevant to this reading, and I find this one's just too much happening there. Ring. My problem with ring is it woman? No, it's ring. We've got to look at this little ring on the woman, and I'm looking at the woman, and then secondary is, oh yes, she's got a ring, and the title says that. So when I have a big spread, I want to know exactly what that card portrays at a glance, without having to look at it more to work it. I mean, you'd get there, you'd get used to it, but the ring is very tiny. So no, to me. Garden. Oh, I actually love this card. I think it's a really pretty image. I'd love to be there. But is it a very public garden? Because the garden is meant to be about the public space. That could be a private garden of a very wealthy individual. I'm not sure about that one. Stars. Well, to me, I look at this and I think shooting stars, which has a different meaning to me than stars. It's always a difficult card in Lenormand. I don't think any deck that I can think of really captures the essence of stars perfectly. Maybe Anna K is pretty good on that, but to me that says shooting stars, and I would think differently about that. Clouds. This one's okay actually. Now this, I feel this is one that works. It's a nice image. You've got the idea of lighter clouds on one side, darker on another ish, although it's a bit dark all through it, but slightly brightening up there. You don't have to have that. The Lenormand deck, it just has clouds. Anna K's is a bit ambiguous, but things like Blue Owl, it's very distinctive which side is bright and which side is dark. I think that one kind of works. I quite like that one. Hey, you've got a good one. Mice. Yeah, that's not bad. We've got they're not rats, which can be the case. They look like they are being naughty. One's inside the cheese. Um, I think that one works for interpretation. Anchor. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, if I was really nitpicking, I might feel that the anchor's just been abandoned and it looks in the right state. It's a lost anchor, which is slightly different to an anchor which could be used. So again, slightly different angle on that. So not a great success, but not terrible for me. Snake, I quite like this one actually. We seem to have two snakes though, in a bit of a fight. Which maybe it should be snakes, but it kind of works. It's snaky. It's got directionality. It's clear what it is, just from first glance. So I think that one works. I mean, it's not the most beautiful image in the deck. It's a bit hard to have a beautiful snake, isn't it? But yeah, it works for Lenormand. Fox, right? Okay, this is a version of a fox that has attacked birds, and you see this sometimes in other decks. And I think that's fine. I think that is acceptable as an image of a fox. Yeah, to me that one works. I mean, again, it's quite a distressing image. It's not pleasant, and the fox is not a pleasant card in general. So yeah, that one probably it works. Crossroad. Yes, I think this one's all right. We've got the idea of road there, road here, road there. So we've got a choice. We've got somebody in a carriage who has that choice. I think that's fairly clear and unambiguous. We know what that's about. It's a nice pastoral image. I would say that one works. Moon. I think this is probably one of the better moon cards in a deck. It's very clearly moon. Often it's a crescent moon, but I suppose you think if you have a full moon, somebody could confuse it with the sun, but I think it's pretty obvious this is not the sun. It's definitely moon. The only thing is, which may slightly affect the meaning, is there are ships in the harbour here, and there's smoke coming out, so there's some activity there. So there's kind of industry going on, which I think is okay, because I think one meaning of moon could be around work things, although it's not the main meaning. I think that one's okay. Stork, quite rich colours on this. I don't know if the camera will pick this up as well as it is, but it's a lovely image actually. I like the stork card. It reminds me of a children's illustration in a good way. And we've got one in flight, one resting. We've got children, chicks rather. So yeah, I think I quite like that one. That's quite nice, clear card. Clover. I don't know what to say about this. I mean, it is clover in flower. If you're not that au fait with plants and flowers, you might just think it's a bunch of flowers. It's not as typically clover-like as you would see in other cards. So to me, not quite there. It's just, even for me, and I know my flowers, to me that is just a bunch of wild flowers. I'd have to be told it was clover because it's not that clear. It's a middle one. Child, again, not sure about this one. Quite hard to see the suit and the number again, because I think, it's a dear. She's a dear child. It's a lovely painting, but I don't know. When I look at that, I'm thinking she's got a slightly naughty look, cheeky look, or is she just being cute? And really, the child is about innocence and playfulness. Is she being playful? Is she doing a job for somebody, or is she doing something she shouldn't be doing? It asks questions which you might want for your child card, and having children myself, I know that they can be all of those things. It can be naughty and cute and playful and destructive and everything within a space of a few seconds or at the same time. So maybe that is okay. But you know, it's a lovely face she has, and it's a nice image. Is it middling or a good one? I think I'll be generous to say it's a good one, because you know, it's what children can be lots of things. The letter, I find this one, there's just a lot going on in this one. Yes, there kind of is a letter, or is it a bit of a manuscript, or some notes? Is it a letter though? Guess it is, just about, but I'm not totally sure about that one. Well, yeah, I guess it is. So I think it's a middling one. Right, so there we go. If we count up, these are the ones which I don't think work particularly well for various reasons I've explained. I mean, I want to like many of these, like the ship. I think it's a lovely painting, as is the sun. But yeah, I think those don't work for me. The majority are a bit meh. I think when I first did this, it was a bit more evenly balanced. So I don't know. I think more of them got into this middle pile. So they're kind of okay. Some people would be happy with that, and that's okay. You could perhaps learn to love it, learn to read with it, but you know, they don't strike me as quite there, and could be a bit confusing, especially if you're beginning. Again, I love this image, but I'm not sure. Scythe could possibly be a good one. I don't know. That one's grown on me a bit, actually. Tower. The man and woman, no. These two cards, for me, are two of the most important. They are the crucial cards in a Lenormand deck. And no, that doesn't do it for me. Keys, a bit dull. Birds, dog, lovely image. But no, that's fine. There we go. And then the ones which I think are perhaps the better ones, which are Stork, lovely painting there. Crossroads is good. Fox, fine. Snake. Yeah. So that's Art Revival. I actually a little bit disappointed. I'm not sure I'd use this deck. It might be quite good if you're doing, I don't know, I think if you're doing something on love and relationships, I feel it might be okay for that. It's, you know, they're a joy to look at as images, but for me they don't, as a deck it doesn't really work as a reading deck, and I'm not sure it's going to get much use at all. I may even have to pass that one on. Just as a very quick contrast, if you get something like the Blue Owl, it's an old traditional deck, very good little white book actually. Just a quick flick through, compare. The artwork is much more primitive, but it's just simple and direct. There's nothing ambiguous about anything. It's very clear what they're trying to convey. Oh, I've got some there. The playing card ones are quite clear. They're double-headed. I'm not sure about that. And sometimes they're a little bit large. You'll see. I mean, it's not a perfect deck. As I say, I've yet to find the perfect deck. But this is it's a great deck for large spreads and for learning, and it's the one that many writers refer to. So, you know, it's really good for learning to interpret Lenormand. That's unforgivable, to chop off the top of his head like that. I don't know what they're thinking there, but there you go. I've just got to live with that. There's a book. That is a bouquet. That's not a bunch of flowers. It's a bouquet. The letter is a letter in an envelope, not a piece of note taking. No peep on the side. ring is a ring, not a woman with a ring. We've got a broom and a whip. So there you go. That's the contrast with a traditional deck and the Art Revival deck. I would definitely prefer to use this deck for reading. It's a shame because I love the pictures and I was sucked in by the beauty of those images. So there we go. Have we found the perfect Lenormand deck? Of course not. Not sure we ever will. But I just wanted to show people this one and pass on some thoughts. It will be the deck for somebody out there, and I'm sure they will love it. It's not for me. I do have another video planned which will be on using a 9-card spread, the way I've been using the 9-card spread, which may be slight difference. It's based on the Anna Kay's method, which I have found to be the best for me as well. It just seems to click for me. If you've seen my other Lenormand video for my very first reading from years ago, this one will follow on from that. You don't have to have seen it, but it might help to make sense, but it won't matter. Even if you haven't seen it, it will still hopefully be of some use. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like it and subscribe. A lot of people watch the videos and they write me a private email, which is great, but it doesn't help me to promote my videos. You just please click on like and subscribe, because that really helps for more people to see it if they want to see it or listen to me going on about cards. Okay, hope that one is helpful. Goodbye for now. Bye.